Hey, welcome back. Glad you're here. I'm still trying to catch up, y'all. Missed another game with y'all. The Clippers game, where the Kings just they couldn't hit shots. They couldn't hit threes. They only scored 98 points in the game. This is at home too, so I hate to see that against a rival, lose at home. It was just a hard loss. They just weren't the same scoring team as they've been in most of these wins. So I missed you guys on the next day of that game. Unfortunately, like I said, it's a loss to a rival and at home at that. Why is messing with me? Phoenix, last night's game. The Kings were able to get a win in Phoenix at that. So it's almost like they lost a hard one at home to a rival, but they also went on the road and won one against a rival. So that's great. And in my opinion, this was a really good victory for the Kings. Even though the Suns were without Kevin Durant, I'm just not sure if his presence would have made too big of a deal. The Kings won by 9 points, 127 to 118 in Phoenix. So good on the Kings. It was a good game to watch. A little back and forth early on. And the Kings clutch guys, Fox and Sabonis, just put the pedal to the metal and in the end of the game, this damn fly's getting on my nerves. Put the pedal to the metal at the end of the game and just took over the game, and were able to pull this one out. This was such a good game. It actually went into overtime as well, which had me so nervous because at the end of the game, Keegan Murray committed a foul, but he fouled before the ball was inbounded. So it was a one shot, plus they get the ball back. I was like, what the hell kind of rule is this? So they made the shot, tied it up, and then Devin Booker had the last shot. He got the last shot. He kind of took a really crappy shot, ran off to the side of the 3 point line, kind of faded away off in the corner. Super difficult shot when he could have probably got a little better shot, maybe if he went towards the middle, went mid range. And that's what I was scared he was going to do. He didn't, and he bricked the shot, so great. And the Kings pulled it out in overtime. Basically doubled their scoring in overtime. All right, so the Sacramento Kings record currently is 6-4, which is decent. It's fine, better than 500. It's cool. It's a tight race, man. This Western Conference is such a tight race, and apparently the Warriors have taken first place now. It's a tie, three-way tie. Warriors, Suns, and Thunder. Unexpectedly, the Warriors have a good team, and they're doing good this year. So we thought they were going to be down here with us. Not the case early on. And the Suns, they have developed into a really good team. They were 8-1 until we just beat them. Now they're 8-2. And the Thunder were 8-1 as well. Now they're 8-2. Nuggets 7-3, Grizzlies 7-4, and then it's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-way tie between us, the Lakers, the Clippers, the Timberwolves, and the Rockets are up there. I don't think a lot of people expected the Rockets to be up there. I think they were expecting more of the Dallas Mavericks, but it's still early on. Then we got Spurs, Pelicans are not doing well, Trailblazers, and Jazz. So it's still early. There's a bunch of ties still. Who's going to pull away from each other in the race? That's yet to be seen.
Great Popovich.
Have they actually said
No.
what?
Have not.
And today is November 11th, 2024. I appreciate you being here with me to check out my analysis of the Kings game. Hopefully you're here for the whole video. I got some good stuff for you. And I just want to say, what's going on, YouTube? And all my Kings fans out there. It's your guy, Jay Woods, aka Shy the Man, and I'm back at you with another episode of Midday Cup of Joe with Jay.
I love it.
Yeah, I had some Starbucks today. Yeah. I got treated to some sugar today. But it's done. And now I'm back to my regular cup, which I don't add sugar, I just add creamer now. And today is Monday. Beginning of the work week, Monday. I guess he had a case of the Mondays. And my cup of Joe today is, man, that was a good victory to see. It's good to see the Kings play so clutch at the end of games and not just let stuff, just not give stuff up, give games away, trick games off, kind of like they did last year. I felt like there was times when De'Aaron was just, fighting against teams by himself. He has a partner in crime now in DeMar DeRozan, who is very clutch and can hit shots in hard situations at the end of the game. He hits jump shots. It's easier to get to a jump shot position than it is to drive all the way to the basket, which is kind of De'Aaron Fox's best game. His best game is when he's slashing to the hole and driving to the basket, and that's not always easy when you got defenders double teaming you, waiting for you, hunkering down on you, waiting to block your shot, pushing you around, bumping you, those type of things. Now he has a partner in crime. He can either get to the basket or he can dump it off to his guy Sabonis or Keegan for three or obviously not Sabonis, but DeMar DeRozan for a jump shot, but also Domantas Sabonis down low and at the top of the key near free throw line. So they have options now. They don't look so stuck in a rut at the end of games now. They don't look so panicked either. And with DeMar DeRozan hitting these clutch shots and these hard shots, I mean, the Kings actually look really good in the clutch. So that's my cup of Joe. Black, one creamer. Quick stats for you guys. So yeah, yesterday, last night, the Kings went on the road to Phoenix. They did good in the first quarter, good in the second quarter. The Kings are actually leading into halftime, and then as you can see in the third, Phoenix Suns came back with big 10 points, and by the end of the fourth quarter, they had tied it up. We go into overtime, and the Kings just totally outscored the Phoenix Suns, who couldn't score in overtime for whatever reason. And the Phoenix Suns' leading scorer was actually Bradley Beal with a big 28 points. Devin Booker had 23, and Tyus Jones had 22 on the night. Devin Booker was the leading rebounder with 12, which is actually kind of interesting. Nurkic didn't have any points or any assists. And I said he was the leading rebounder. He was actually 12 assists. So that's what he does. He distributes the ball and he shoots. Nurkic, 7 rebounds, no other stats, or well, no assists, no points, which is kind of interesting. They need him to be scoring down low if they expect to do anything good, especially with Kevin Durant out of the games. And the Sacramento Kings leading scorer was our new guy, DeMar DeRozan, with 34 points. De'Aaron Fox with a big 21. Domantas Sabonis with 20 points. Kevin Huerter pitched in with a big 17. Everybody pitched in with rebounding, which is great. Or well, some of the guys did anyway. Demonis with a big 12. Keegan Murray was the high rebounder of the day with 14. And De'Aaron Fox with 11 big rebounds from the guard position. All right, team stats. Sacramento Kings made 50 field goals compared to 44 for the Suns, both in the 40 percentages. Kings almost 50%. Three-pointers, both teams around 30%, with the Suns hitting 7 more threes than the Kings. Free throws, both teams in 80%. Kings hit about 4 more free throws than the Suns. Total rebounds, Kings out-rebounded them by 9. Suns, it was just back and forth stats on here. The Suns had more assists. Like, you couldn't tell who won the game by looking at these stats. Suns had 11 steals. Kings had 14 turnovers. Kings 54 in the paint compared to 44. So the stats are pretty close. You couldn't tell who won the game by these stats at all. Eye test. I'm going to give the Kings an eye test. Yeah. Eye test. Eye test. Eye test. The Kings are willing passers, so the game always just looks real smooth when they're on, when they're passing the ball around. Keon Ellis, he's just so good. He's so smooth. Nothing rattles him. Coming from the G League, he has number 23. He reminds me a lot sometimes of Michael Jordan the way he plays. Just really smooth, and his little up and unders that he does. Some of his movements. I bet you he's a Michael Jordan fan. Ooh, DeRozan with the tough jumper, in the 4th. 6 minutes left, and DeRozan is taking the ball down to free throw line for an easy turnaround jumper. Suns were up by 5 with 3.5 minutes left to go in the fourth. And De'Aaron Fox just kind of just took over at that point. He hit a nice jumper there, and DeRozan also. But De'Aaron Fox really took it upon himself to make sure he was making attempts at the basket in the clutch of this game with shots like that. He was like, "Hey, I got mid-range game too. I got some mid-range game too." It was like back and forth, as you can see. It was like Fox then DeRozan, Fox then DeRozan. With the beautiful turnaround, 37 seconds left to go. 1 point lead by the Suns. And then this one right here, he missed. I couldn't believe he missed. But Keegan with the big tip in. Beautiful. And then this was the point when he fouled Booker before the ball even came in. They got a shot, and they were able to tie the game after the Kings had went up by 1 point. And then in overtime, I think this is kind of where De'Aaron just kind of just really just took over the game. We got another shot from DeRozan. He loves that spot and one right there. DeRozan hunting for a shot, half-ass double team, step back, bucket, good. Another and one in overtime. But at this point, the Kings were already up by 5 with about a minute left. De'Aaron was not going to let this team not score. Pushed it to 125. Showing the handles behind the back with the midi to the left. DeMar DeRozan hits on the other side, on the right side, and Fox hits on the left side. And basically, this game, it just kind of looked like a next back and forth. Your turn, my turn, your turn, my turn. And even though they probably didn't say that, that's how it happened. But it looked pretty hard to stop. I mean, who was going to stop those two in the clutch right there? Bottom line, the Kings morning after. Bottom line. Today's bottom line is my bottom line is, the Kings are 6-4 and they're in this tough Western Conference. They just got to keep playing. They got to keep playing hard. Keep playing like this. Guys need to keep helping Domantas Sabonis with rebounding. Fox helped out. Keegan's been helping out. I would like to see Trey Lyles get some more rebounds. These guys are a little short of the bench, especially now that Malik Monk just got injured in that last game. Real bad ankle sprain is what it looked like. So they're not going to have Malik Monk for at least a week, maybe even a couple weeks. So this bench, I don't know, man. This bench is looking a little weak. We're going to need guys off the bench to step up scoring, and we're also going to need guys off the bench to step up rebounding. It's time for Mike Brown to go ahead and use Lynn, get Lynn in there, especially against some of these taller, bigger teams. You're going to have to use Alex Lynn. You're going to have to. And then Kevin Huerter needs to keep hitting his jumper going forward. And I don't know where the help at rebounding is going to come from, but, De'Aaron Fox helped out this past game. Somebody's going to have to get in there and help Domantas. Keegan does it most games. We need one more guy that's just going to consistently get in there and help rebounding, whether it's Huerter, whether it's Trey Lyles, but it has to be somebody. And then obviously we have Keon Ellis coming off the bench. So Keon is probably going to take over Malik Monk's role. And hopefully he can come off the bench and score the way Malik Monk does. That's yet to be seen. So bottom line, going forward, these guys are going to have to keep playing like this. It's going to be interesting to see as the season goes on if this is how they attack things at the end of the quarter, kind of back and forth. My turn, your turn, De'Aaron Fox, DeMar DeRozan with the clutch game, which looks good. I mean, I'd be okay with it. It worked this past game, whatever works, keep doing it. Next up is actually tonight, Monday, November 11th. The Sacramento Kings are in San Antonio playing the Spurs and Big Wembanyama. Wembanyama. I think I said that right. So the young rookie. And there was an interesting stat that came out. He shoots the most threes on his team. He thinks he's a 3-point shooter. This guy's like 7'20", and all he does is shoot threes. So keep him out there. Let him shoot threes. As long as he's not close to the basket, I don't feel like he's much of a threat. Keep that guy outside the key and don't let these youngsters run up on you or run the score up on you. They have Harrison Barnes. Harrison Barnes has only been averaging about 9 points a game, so I don't see him taking over unless he has a Harrison Barnes revenge game against us or something. I don't see that happening. And this is a team, honestly, even though they're on the road, this is a team that the Kings should beat. So let's go out there and let's see it, Kings. All right, so the Spurs. The Spurs are led by Victor Wembanyama, who this season is currently averaging 18 points and 10 rebounds, which is not bad at all. They also have Chris Paul out there running point, Stephen Castle, Jeremy Sochan, Harrison Barnes, our guy, Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson, and Julian Champagnie. They have a lot of young guys. This team is full of young guys, with a couple older guys like Barnes and Chris Paul as the vets. This team is very beatable. Jeremy Sochan is an upcoming power forward. And the only thing the Kings really have to be worried about against the Spurs is these young guys running the ball on them. If they keep these guys down and keep these guys from running on them, the Kings will be just fine. They can lock any of these guys up and they can score on any of these guys. So I expect the Kings to go down and handle business. Even though it's the second game of a back-to-back, I really still think the Kings should win this game. All right, this is where I go to bet. The description, the link is down in the description. It's called Bet Us. This is where I go to do my sports betting. I love doing boxing bets on here. But let's take a look at some of these lines for tonight. So Clippers versus Oklahoma. Looks like they expect Oklahoma to win. The line is at 6.5. Brooklyn Nets are supposed to beat the Pelicans. That line is at 1.5. Looks like they expect the Rockets to blow out the Wizards by 12. That might be an interesting game to bet on. Are they really going to beat them by that much? If not, then you would bet on the Wizards. If you think Houston is going to beat them by more than 12, then you bet for Houston. And then the Kings game here, they expect the Kings, even though they're on the road, they got them the line at -2.5, which means they think the Kings should win this game at right around 2-3 points. So what do you think? If you want to bet on this game, use the link in the description below and use Bet Us. And they're our sponsors, so they help us out. Thank you. And as always, guys, I ask that you make a comment below, comment on anything, comment on the Kings, comment on how I'm doing. Either you like my comments and my analysis, or you think I'm trash. It doesn't matter. Comment below. It helps me beat the algorithm. It's another way to beat the algorithm. And also, obviously, please like, please share, please subscribe, and comment. All those things help me grow the channel. As you can see, I need some more subscriptions. And it just helps kick the algorithm's ass. So if you like Sacramento Kings, if you like Sacramento Kings talk, you like to hear game analysis and things like that, and you want to watch games live with me and have some other fun that we're going to do, some top 5 posts, some top three polls and things like that, then click the subscribe button. Join me again for the next video. I'm going to do another video like this tomorrow after this game, and I'm going to analyze this game. So I do this after all the Kings games, and I would like you to join me. So go ahead and click that subscribe button and click the like button if you liked any of this content at all. And I have a motivational quote for you guys today. All right, this is a good quote from Winston Churchill. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Excellent quote from Winston Churchill. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Can you keep going when you fall? Can you keep going when you fail? That's what really matters. The courage it takes to get you through those things. And that's pretty much all that I have for today, guys. I want to say thank you very much for joining me. And as always, tune back in the day after the Kings games around noon for the next episode of my show, The Kings Morning After. Midday Cup of Joe with Jay. And like I said, thank you for watching this far. I really appreciate it. If you're still watching, go ahead and click that like button. I must have said something you like, something entertaining, right? And I'll see you next time, tomorrow after the game, the day after the game, for more analysis. And before you go, check out my move. It's good.